Hi everyone, welcome to the 2019 iAwards entrant tutorial. Thank you for joining us today. This quick video will be useful for those who have decided that they'd like to enter the iAwards. And what we'll do is we'll go through the iAwards application form to help you really understand the pages and the questions that we ask and how to really create an awesome standout entry. So we'll give you some tips along the way. And we've also got another video that we've recorded previously, and it might be helpful for those who have not possibly entered the iAwards before. And this other video is a really good overview on the iAwards journey, the process, what's involved, and things like that. So we've also got that other video on our YouTube playlist as well. So we'll move straight into the slides. So just a really quick snapshot of our categories. As an organisation, you can choose up to 3 award categories to enter. Our first column, you'll see the core categories listed there, and there's 5 of those to choose from. So if you're wondering where you should go, what you should enter, just think about who your target audience is, or who the end user is for your innovation. And that's really where you should be positioning yourself in the core categories section. You might have an innovation that overlaps categories. It might be a retail product that end user is your general consumer, but it also might be a B2B product too, so you might fit into business services. So it really depends up to you on where you best want to market yourself for the iAwards journey as well, and where your best business cases are, because remember, you need to show examples and validate your ideas in the application page. So think about where you'd best like to position yourself. If you do want to enter in more than one of these core categories, then you will actually have to create another new entry and sort of have 2 separate entries related to that innovation. But per entry, you will have to choose 1 core category. The next category you can choose is the technology categories. So we have 3 listed there in the middle of the page there. But on the application form, if you don't, if your innovation is not applicable to one of those 3 categories, then just drop down and select the general category. Because we're an innovation awards program, we still want to know about your technology and what it's all about. So that's why we have a general section there as well. So the next stage, the next category is the stage categories. So this is optional, and it might not be applicable to everyone, but if it is applicable to you, you can choose either R&D category or Startup of the Year category. And for the iAwards, we define startup for any organisation that is less than 3 years old. So you must be registered since 2016 to be applicable for that category. And the good news is, if you are a startup, an entry into the iAwards is free. So hopefully that sort of goes through our categories for organisations. Our next categories are for students. And there are 1 of 3 categories for you to choose from if you're a student. If you're a junior student, you can be anywhere up until year 9 at school. Or for senior students, you can be anywhere from years 10 to 12. If you're an undergraduate student, it applies to anyone who is enrolled in a tertiary education organisation. If you are a postgraduate, it means that you do have to enter in the organisational categories, and you will not be applicable for the student categories. So to start your entry, you can go to our homepage, which is www.aia.com.au/iAwards. There'll be an Enter Now button, or you can go straight to the application page, which is the unique URL there, which is iAwards.awardsplatform.com. So what we'll do is we will go through that now. So I'm just going to change screens. Alrighty, so this is our application form. You'll notice on the left-hand side that black box. And we've got our early bird code here. So take a note of that. If you submit your entry by the 11th of January and you use this code, you'll save 10% on your application, which is fantastic. My contact details are down below as well. And you can also search categories if you need to. If you want a definition of the categories, that's a good section to go to. And there's also our fees and terms and conditions. But if you're new to the application form, on the right-hand side, just put in your email address, create a password, and press log in. It will ask you for to accept any cookies. This is our homepage, which just has a few instructions. But if you scroll down, just click Start New Entry. Okay, so we've got a few step-by-steps there, and it's pretty much what I've gone through about choosing your category. So if we scroll down, and we will begin. So choose your state. If you are in Western Australia, you'll notice that Western Australia is not listed here. And that's because all Western Australian entries must go via the WIETA program first. And then for round 2, then you'll be applicable for the iAwards if you make it to round 2. So select your state, choose your category. So I'm going to be organisation, and then choose your core category. So let's choose consumer. And my innovation is going to be iAwards. I'm just going to say test. Okay, so then we ask for some subcategories, and this just helps us understand where you sit. So I might say gaming, and I'll click next. Okay, so once it loads, it will take you to our application form. So you'll see there's various tabs on the page. So you can actually switch between these tabs, and I really encourage you to do that because you can have a play and you could really understand before you start getting really into the application form what's included. And you also might need to chase other people in your team for certain bits of information. So it's a really good way just to really explore and have a flick through. So you'll notice the 3 tabs here: Market Awards Criteria, Technology Awards Criteria, and Stage Awards Criteria. These 3 tabs is what the judges will judge. So they're really important. You'll notice that there are grey boxes on the right-hand side, and the grey boxes actually tell you how to answer the questions, which are listed here above the boxes. We also have a word count. It's really important that you stick to this word count. If you go over, you will not be able to submit your entry, and it will ask you to sort of edit until you fit within that word count. That's really important. Just scrolling down to see what else I can sort of give you some tips on. There's a section here that asks for a 60-second video. I really encourage you to submit a video. It does say it's optional, but if you think about this form, the judges will be judging probably about between 15 to 20 entries. It depends on what's in their panel to judge. But when you're reading all these applications, having a video just helps bring your application to life. And it's a really good visual. If you want to get creative, you can add sort of diagrams in it, or you can show a video of your sort of innovation itself working, or you can just talk to the camera. It's really up to you. You can even just use your iPhone to film it too. So it's just a really good opportunity to help the judges just understand by watching and by listening what your application or innovation is all about. So the iAwards team also, if you do submit this video, we could also use it later down the track for marketing purposes as well. So it's just a really good chance to give yourself that exposure too, if you want to make the most of it. So again, these, explain how the solution is unique, detail the organisation's ability to deliver and scale. These are actually all the judging criteria. So it's really important to take note of that. So as you fill out the form, your application form will be saving automatically online, but it's make sure that you are constantly connected to the internet, because if you do disconnect at one stage, it could interfere with how your page is saved. So just keep an eye on that. And as you complete each page, you can click Save and Next, or you can even go Save and Close, and you can come back tomorrow and revisit your application page as well. So I'm just going to flick here and just to see if there's any other bits of information I can give you. Make sure you read these tabs in the blue. It just sort of gives you some guidance on how to answer the questions on that page. But if you've read it and you've had enough of it, just click that arrow and it will move it up, so it creates more space for you on the page. With the technology categories, the questions will change depending on what category you've entered as well. So the questions might change, or the grey hint boxes on this side might change as well. So we've got a page called Contributors. Now, it's really good to give your team members credit, but really we use this section if we need to contact someone urgently, but we can't get a hold of the main account holder. We may use people in this team as well. So it's not crucial to fill this out, but it is recommended. Private information. This is mainly used for the iWards, I guess, just to collect data and to contact you as well. We've got public information. This is actually super important. So name your project or innovation. This tab gets published, or this field gets published. Also, organization name gets published as well. So if you win an award, or we publish your innovation in the awards booklet, and we like to acknowledge everyone, we use these two fields just to acknowledge everyone there. It's also important to put in a logo. If you're more than one company getting represented, make sure you do put in one file, but make sure the logos are side by side in that one file, just so that we're not juggling too many files per entry, because it can get messy. So you can only upload one file there, but if you're more than one company, definitely I recommend you merge the files on one JPEG. And then we ask for social handles, etc. So that's pretty much it about the application form. We do have a section for photos, so this helps in our marketing as well. And the judges also like to see some visuals too, but never gets judged, this page. Diversity as well is just for us to understand, I guess, what diversity looks like for the iWards program. So this page is also not judged, so just complete it to the best that you can. Once you have finished your entry, press submit, and it will take you to the payment page as well. You could use the entry code, the early bird code to submit that. If you're a member, you can use a member code as well. And once you submit, you can actually refine and log into your application form and refine your entry up until the final close, which is fantastic. It's we know that innovations constantly change, so this is a really good opportunity to sort of tick all your boxes, make sure you've paid, you've submitted your entry, but you can keep changing up until the last date. So I might just switch back. There we go. All right, so just to summarize, here are some quick tips on completing your application form. So we've also got another video, quick tips from our previous iWards Chief Judge Fulvio Insera. So go to our playlist and you can view that. Make sure that you answer the questions concisely and write really clearly. If you're going to use abbreviations, make sure that you elaborate on what it is at the beginning so judges can understand what you're talking about. Directly address all the criteria. Don't skip any questions, because that could be a judging criteria question. And also the form won't let you skip them as well. So don't put NA in any of the form, like any of the questions. Make sure you really do answer them to the best that you can. Qualify your product claims. So try to give examples, provide evidence. If you're doing an R&D project, you can add a link into the into the answer, and it might be a link to your papers or your findings, or you might have a research report or something like that. Really sort of qualify your product claims, and that justifies and supports your arguments. Definitely, if you can, submit a 60-second video, and it could be just filming on your iPhone and just looking at the camera. It can be as simple as that, but it really does help for the judges. We do ask for referees. So there was actually a tab that I didn't point out, but a tab does ask for references. So we ask for 2 referees, and these referees must be your end user of your innovation. It must be external to your company. On some occasions, they may be called by our judges and ask a few questions about their experience using your technology, or how it's improved their work, or things like that. So make sure that you notify your referees and that they will be contacted potentially. And also just have fun and enjoy the journey. Make sure, if you do have any questions, I'm always here to help, and I'm really more than happy to help. So you can either give me a call, email, watch these videos, but if there's anything that's unclear, just feel free to get in touch. And if I don't know the answer, I might be able to ask the judge, and they might be able to, give some guidance on how to best answer a question, or if anything's unclear, that's what we're here for. So don't be afraid to get in touch. Also, as I said, there is a payment page at the end, and a lot of people don't realise, and it could cause delays in their submission. So try to make that payment early, and you can complete your entry. You can refine your entry up until the final close date of the 21st of February. Early bird does close on the 11th of January if you wanted to take advantage of the early bird offer. So yeah, click the blue submit button at the bottom of the page, and that will go to the payment page, and that will confirm your entry. If you're a startup, it won't go to the payment page. It will just go straight through. Alrighty, so once again, the early bird code is there, early bird 2019 to save 10%. If you're a member, feel free to give us an email, and I'll send you the members code as well for a further discount. And entry is free for startups and students. So for startups, you must be registered from 2016 as business. So there are my contact details. Thank you so much for taking part in this tutorial. And if you do have any questions, feel free to get in touch. Yeah, enjoy the journey, and all the best in entering the iAwards. Thanks.